Hello, hello! Welcome back to Sailor Moon Another Story. We are about to jump into Jupiter's exploits in Canada, so let's get into it. It's very green. In Search of the Stones, Sailor Jupiter's section. And this is all still chapter 2. These 4 inter-senshi travels are all part of the same chapter. Took me quite a while to get here. Is this really where I'll find the stone Mamoru needs? Marine National Park. A national park, huh? It's getting late. I should get back to this tomorrow. So what do I make for dinner? Bet these streams are full of trout. I could make a yummy shioyaki. Mako is always the best cook. Huh? Who's there? Sorry, I smelled something good and followed my nose. Huh? You're hungry? Have a seat. I don't mind sharing. Really? Random guy just comes out of the woods? This guy looks just like the senior who broke my heart. Everyone looks like the senior that broke her heart. This is the best fish I've ever had in my life. Nobody in these parts can cook half as good as this. My house isn't far from here, but my stomach was rumbling something fierce. You live here? But this is a national park. Anyway, are you a tourist? Not quite. Name's Jupiter, and I'm looking for a stone called nephrite. If I don't get it, a friend of mine might not make it. I think I've heard of it before. Really? Someone at the village might know. You just said that you might have heard of it. But now you're saying to go ask the villagers. Okay. Village? Yeah, I'm not supposed to tell you, but I live here, in Metis Village. It's a quiet little hamlet hidden in the trees, and because of that, the average person usually can't make it that far. Everybody in the village has one of these pendants, which lets them go out into the forest, and it just so happens I've got a spare. Go on, take it. This sounds like a cult. Wow, really? Yeah, consider it a thanks for your delicious cooking. We got the tree pendant. Alright, you got it on? Good. With that, you can enter the village. Now follow good old George up to Metis. In the original translation, I think the town was like Medias, like M-E-D-I-A-S. So if I accidentally slip up and say Medias, then forgive me. You can stay at my house while you're here. I'm gonna get started on looking for that nephrite in our archives later. He by far is the most useful so far. He's heard of the stone, and he's gonna go do some research. Alright, so we are only level 6. Our stats, not so great. We do have some accessories we can put on. We've got earrings and an anklet. So we've got 1 slot that we can fill. But as usual... So this big ominous tree, do not go in here. You need many levels before you can go in there. That's near the end of the chapter. Okay, shouldn't have much to say. Did you see that tree in the middle of the village? It's called the Protection God, but some creepy monsters made it their nest. If anybody was gonna climb inside it and return alive, they'd be a hero. So yeah, as you can see. Ominous. Oh, empty. Little kid must be home alone. We sure as shoot don't want that chick from the other village around here. She probably just wants the chief's fortune and she ain't getting any of it. Hey there, girly. Need any help? So this is Canada's version of the helpful local. The item shop, let's buy. Did we have a bracelet? I forgot what we just equipped. Earrings and an anklet. So let's buy a bracelet. As we all know, I like that extra attack boost in the beginning. We can also buy some more box lunch. And then there's also the Metis herb, which, as you can see, heals 3 EP. So you can only buy this in this town. So just for the heck of it, I'll just grab a few. We've got the money to spare, and we're going to probably, the next time we have a chance, go sell some of those collector's items and get more cash. So there's a helicopter going by outside. Alright, so we are equipped. We can continue. Where'd you come from? You from Mishi? You'd better start explaining yourself. I've never even heard of Mishi before. Oh, right. Gotcha. Okay. I do like the music for Canada. Never seen you before. How the heck did you find the village? Ah, you've got a pendant. Welcome to Metis, girl. They're so easily trusting. You're looking for a stone called nephrite? I think I might have heard of it someplace before. Okay, everybody thinks they've heard of it, but nobody wants to give me any more than that. Empty house? Quite a big house to just not have anybody in it. I don't think there's anybody down there. For an Asian chick, you sure got a lot of, talent. Oh, okay. None of the women want to talk to us, if you'll notice. Sure, George is a good guy, but, never mind. Oh, another empty house. I mean, I get that they have them just to, like, boost the atmosphere. Nope. Alright, let's go into the house we're supposed to be in, which is George's house. Now, before you go looking for George, make sure you come over here and talk to this lady. Geez, the girls in this town sure are snooty. It's 'cause you snared George into marrying you. Huh? You've got it all wrong, lady. George is cool and all, but I just met him. I can't marry him. That's just... So I guess he's still after her, huh? Who's her? George has a girlfriend? Yeah. Aw, guess I'm out of luck again. You just said there was nothing between you and now you're all jealous? Hey, can you tell me more? The chief doesn't want to let them get together, but won't tell anybody why. You know, you never told me this mystery girl's name. Oh, she's from our sister village, Mishi. Her name's Mary. She's the daughter of Mishi's chief. It's just, we're feuding with the other village. Looks like George and Mary's love might be hopeless. That's terrible. Knowing all that, I feel like I've got to try and help them. The other girls in town feel the same way, but we don't know what to do. So, she kind of indicated she didn't like Mary, but she's saying that everybody's trying to help them get together, so there seems to be some contradictions in some of what they say. What, Mary? I've known her for about 3 years. Things between Metis and Mishi aren't so hot, though. It'd be great if we could make up, but, you know. Where's Mishi from here? Well, it's off to the east, but... Wait, you're not thinking of going there, are you? Yep, I'm gonna help you two out if it's the last thing I do. Just sit tight. She's got a mission already. Why is everybody feeling like they need to get involved in the love lives of the locals? You guys already have something important to do. That boy of mine so set on seeing that girl from Mishi. Ain't a snowball's chance in hell I'll ever let that happen again. Well, you sound like pleasant man. Alright, so if you don't talk to the mom, you'll never find, I think that's supposed to be George's mom. You won't find out why people aren't talking to you, and that's the only way to get the other women in the village to talk to you. It also triggers something later. So now that they actually want to say something, the fish from Marine Lake are really tasty. You get a chance to try them yet? I'm not gonna go chase all of them down. So let's attempt to go out into where the random battles are and see if we are powerful enough. Are we gonna, make sure she's actually in the right formation first. Yep, center of cluster. My go-to. Come on. Hello? There you go. I mean, I guess if you don't want to attack me. Alright, so we have both enemies that appear in this area. Atsugesho was also called Makeup Gal in the dub because her Japanese name actually means heavy makeup. So they decided to kind of do a little bit of a translation of her name. She was from season R, the episode where Mamoru breaks up with Usagi. Bertie sent her to sell cosmetics at Otafukuya. And her costume's actually modeled after like a perfume bottle. Well, that was bad. And now we're back to the beginning of the chapter. Alright, I am gonna go tweak some things, and then I will meet you back where we were. Okay guys, we're back. As you can see, I am now to a point where I am not only getting the first hit, but I'm also killing them in one shot, so I ended up equipping a second bracelet. I kept the anklet because that gives me the speed boost, but I ended up putting a second bracelet on instead of the earrings. So I know earrings gives defense, which looked like what we were lacking, but if we could just one-hit kill them, I figured that was probably easier. So we're still in the middle of the cluster formation. I did play around with putting me at the front of the arrow, in the chute. I tried other formations, but really the center of cluster gives you the highest attack boost. So we should be set now and not dying. But that's kind of just the nature of this game. You just have to play around a little bit until you get it right. So come up this little hole in this little secret passageway in the woods, talk to this guy, and he'll give you... You're looking for a puzzle piece, eh? Sure, here you go. So we have a puzzle piece. So that's one of the other hidden ones. So, now that we can get through here without too much difficulty, we already talked about Atsugesho, but Furaiki was a droid that Pets sent in Season R. Yes, this is more like it. I like those numbers. But Furaiki caused a storm to scare Chibiusa in the hopes that she would release energy from fear, and because they were still looking for her. Her name, Furaiki, means demon of wind and thunder. So since she had associations with storms and things, it makes sense. Now, ideally, before we move on to the next phase of the Canada story, we should get up to around level 10. Because there's some stuff that's going to happen in town that you want to be prepared for. So I am just going to run around here. We are currently level 7. So I'm going to run around here and try to gain those 3 levels. I'll probably just fast forward it on the screen to at least give you an idea of how many battles it takes. But yeah, I will see you guys as soon as I get to level 10. Alright, so we are level 10, as you can see. One other thing I don't think I've pointed out yet is if you go to the status screen, it'll actually, down at the bottom, it'll tell you how much XP you need for the next level. So you're not completely blind. You can kind of, if you know how much XP you need, you can kind of estimate it like while you're actually fighting battles and be like, okay, I think it'll be this many more battles. So you're not completely blind. It appears as though Mary and George's union has been forbidden in Metis as well. Why hello, would you like to know some fun trivia? If a man in Metis wishes to propose to a woman, he must find a particular artifact to declare his love. That seems unnecessary. I guess that's kind of the equivalent of buying a wedding ring, though. It's not a particular artifact, but... Since last month, poor Mary isn't allowed to leave her house anymore. This bad blood with Metis is nothing new, young lady. It's gone on for the past 4 decades. My goodness. Sounds like Romeo and Juliet with the Capulets and the... Wow. I forgot. I forgot their name. Here's a hidden puzzle piece. There's also... Where is it? Okay, that was the item shop one. There is another puzzle piece, I think, here. Yes, so there's 2 puzzle pieces in the barrels around here. Make sure you grab those. Did I walk in here already? Alright. Our main goal here... Many things have started falling down around the Chief's Manor lately. That's important. There are indeed things falling down around the Chief's Manor. Have you heard? Our Chief's Manor was built atop ancient ruins. That also seems like something that's going to be pertinent to us. So this is the guy you actually want to come talk to. We might want to save. Just... Where's the inn? There it is. Down there. And I can't get around the trees. Just because, like I said, we're gonna have some fights coming up here, and there's no easy way to... Once you go, you're kind of locked into that path, until you get through it, so... Just in case we have another problem with enemies KOing us, we're just gonna err on the safe side. Good word, is Metis importing new trash for its equally trash village? Wow. I thought the other guy was mean. Listen here, young lady, you stay away from Mishi and you are to never return. What the hell? Yeah, Jupiter, what the hell? Like, you can't stop me anyways, dude. I could kick your ass. So this pendant. This, it won't be there before you talk to the mayor of Mishi. It also won't be here if you haven't talked to George's mother first as well. So that's why we have to make sure that we talk to her before we leave the other village. Is this a necklace? Yeah, it's a tree pendant, like the one I got from George. Excuse me, could you please bring that up here somehow? Somehow? Huh? Did you drop this from the window? And somehow, Jupiter just kind of climbs up to her window, however far up that was. Are you the person who Father raised his voice at? Did you come from Metis? Your pendant. Oh, it's just like George's. Tell me, is he well? Shh. We shouldn't talk so loud. I'm Jupiter. I'm here because I want to see if I can lend you to a hand. First things first, do you want to get back together with George? Yes, I want to be with him more than anything in the world. You really just put it out there like that, huh? Mary, who are you speaking with? Dearest, unlock the door. Oh no, there's nowhere to hide. Mary, answer me, girl, right this instant. Girl. Who just calls their daughter girl? He's coming, quick! You should climb back out the window, but... I got a better idea. How about I break down this wall? Because that's logical. Where do you think the wall's gonna go? Yeah, we can see from the screen that there's something back there, but Jupiter shouldn't know that. Don't be absurd, how would you do such a thing? Heh, just watch. She's so destructive. You're just gonna break down this poor girl's wall. What a ridiculous solution. Wow, your strength is simply earth-shattering, Jupiter. Heh, it's no big deal. But it looks like the way out's sealed. Guess I've got to bulldoze through again. No, this should take us underground. It's an ancient tunnel leading into ruins, or so I've heard. However, it's unknown as to where it goes or if there's even an exit. Well, we should get going. But, don't worry. It'll all work out somehow. Come on, let's go. Okay, Jupiter, she's so optimistic. She has no idea where she is or what's going on, but she's just gonna go for it. Okay, so I don't think there's anything in the barrels, but the pots do have things. So we have a metis herb and a premium ticket, which I think is another collector's item. There's nothing in any of these. And then there's the chest. So we have emerald earrings. We all can guess that emerald goes for Jupiter. So let's see. Yeah, we'll replace the anklet with the emerald earrings. I still like that attack boost. And I think her second accessory gives attack, so we'll just replace one of the bracelets with that. Now we have 2 more chests, a blueberry and a red berry. So the red berry is a cure for stone and the blueberry cures enchantment. Let's see. Is it this one? Yes, another hidden puzzle piece in the barrel. Now we head downstairs. And the music has changed and is much more ominous. So we can head left here. If you head south, it's just going to be a big circle and it's just going to take you to the same location. So this is kind of like a little shortcut. Now we have new enemies that are going to be more powerful. The only thing that shows up here is brown Jakoku. So this is just a recolor of that boss that we fought from, I think, episode 4 of this LP. It showed up. Oh yay. We are more than okay. We're already kicking things' asses here. I think it was the boss. Jakoku showed up in the junior high school, the middle school, when they had to chase down Chibiusa in the inner senshi and save them. Okay. So there is a chest around here. And now we're back to these enemies. So actually, never mind, I lied. So brown Jakoku is not the only one that shows up here. The 2 enemies from the first area also show up here, but it doesn't matter because we're annihilating them. There's the chest. So emerald ring. Does that increase? Oh, it increases defense, but that's fine. We're wrecking things, so we'll take that and we'll replace one of the bracelets. Alright. So if we try entering this temple... I guess the ruins you were talking about really are down here, huh? Look, there's something written up there. But of course I can't read it. What I can see is that the symbol of Jupiter is there. I'm trying to rack my brain, but I just don't get it at all. So, you came all this way in search of the stone? How admirable. Unfortunately, you won't find it here. Who are you? If we meet again, I'll tell you. In just a little while, this place will have a cave-in. You should get out while you can. Was she truly serious about the cave-in? Come on, we've got to escape. Luckily, there's no escape sequence. We just appear outside. Mary, George. Thank you, Jupiter. It wasn't easy, let me tell you. By the way, I had a question. Is there a way for you to get together without worrying about the feud? Actually, yeah. I found out something about that Nephrite you need while I was hitting the books. Turns out that there are records of it from about 40 years ago. It was used to enter into matrimony. But where is it now? I guess it's in that protection god place. It'd be nice if we could get it. By protection god, do you mean that giant tree? Yeah, that's it. Sounds good. Now's your time to shine. Huh? You think I should? Yeah, go nab that stone. That way everything can get cleared up, and a certain happy couple could get back together. It sounds agreeable. For now, I shall return to Mishi. I place my faith in you, Georgiekins. Georgiekins. Oh jeez. Alright, so we are now out here where we started, where Jupiter had her little fire going and was going to make some trout. The Marine National Park. So just head through that little dip in the trees, and you'll come back to Metis Village. So, we basically just need to enter the tree. If memory serves, I think there's a Lunape pretty close to the bottom, so I don't think we need to go find the inn again. So you're still alive, I see. Yeah, now you'd better tell me who the hell you are. Humph. I'm Opposito Marduk, a warrior who crossed space and time protected by the planet Jupiter. Hold up, you crossed space-time? It's one peaceful day after another. Yup, we're living in a real paradise. The legendary silver crystal sure lives up to its name. Oh yeah, it's pretty cool. After all, if it wasn't for its power, the world would fall into chaos. Horrible wars would start again. We really do owe everything to the silver crystal. Yay, exposition! They're even talking to the camera. Stop going on about peace. Don't you know anything? So many of those wars started because of the silver crystal. The Dark Kingdom, the Black Moon, the Deathbusters. You just keep yourself in the dark, refusing to see reality for what it really is. Now I understand, Marduk. Apsu. Mankind is full of fools. They don't even understand that this current peace is nothing but a sham. Yes. Alas, the past shall eventually repeat. So long as the silver crystal exists, its bloody history will haunt the world. Alright, Apsu, I'm in. We'll get that crystal and completely eradicate the wars it causes. Marduk, I knew you would accept. Sailor Jupiter, I commend you for getting this far, but that's as far as you go. I'll be the one who gets the stone first. Ah ha ha ha! And don't worry, this isn't a real race. You can take your time. She'll be there at the top when you're ready. Now let's hope I'm not making a humongous— oh, there's the Lunape. I thought that there was one sort of near the bottom. Alright, so we're gonna save just to be safe. And now we get to climb all the way to the top. So by the time you get to the top, I would say at least be level 12. Like I've said before, Nabu was really the hardest of the bosses, at least in Chapter 2. Because of that second phase she has. The others are pretty much pushovers. Here we have Mikuji. This was called Prophet in the original translation. It was from Season S. It was a diamond sent by Kaori Knight, incubated in a cherry tree. And this one actually went after Rei's heart crystal. And actually, Mikuji are pieces of paper that Shintoists read from. They read fortunes from for the new year. And bad fortunes are warded off by hanging them on trees. And so since we are currently in a big protection tree, it makes sense. We're not running into any enemies. This is weird. And this is also a very tall tree. My goodness. There we go. But there's also one other enemy that I want to show off, and I also want one more level. So we're just gonna hang out here for a second. There it is! Dumble! So, Dumble is a droid from Season R sent by Koan. It's actually— it's most likely supposed to be like Dumbbell, but everybody calls it Dumble. In the Deke dub, it was called Rhonda for some reason. But it was— Project Este, I believe is how you say it. Started by Rei's grandpa. It was essentially just like an aerobics class. Este is like an abbreviation of the word aesthetic. There we go, there's our level. But to join that club in an effort to, you know, do evil things. Alright, so let's save. Oh wait, you know what? I need one more level. I'm only level 11. I wanted one more level before we go up against Marduk. So, I'm gonna do that real quick. Okay. So we're saving. We're level 12 now. We're actually level 12 now. So, let's continue on to find Marduk. We're just literally out on a limb here. Well, that was fast, but not fast enough. The stone is mine. Wah! Did she jump or did she fall? I think she fell. She fell. Jump down after her. If you say no, you're just gonna have to trek all the way back down the tree yourself. So if you're ready to face a boss, then just hit yes. There it is. Finally, Nephrite's Lightstone. Oh. Stop right there. Quick, get this stone back to Mary. But, it's alright, just go. Alright, he has some sense. The only local so far that we found that has sense. You might have the stone, but all I need is to end you. You want to kill me, huh? That your idea, or someone else calling the shots? I'm the only one telling me what to do, and I've decided that each and every last one of you sailor soldiers needs to die. Then I'll get the silver crystal. So, here we have Marduk, who was named after the Mesopotamian god, Marduk, who had a lot of different associations, including storms, fertility, sun, water, judgment. Oh good. I was hoping that our defense would be high enough. We might even be able to two-shot her. But mostly Marduk was known as the patron deity of Babylon, and as per usual, had astrological associations with the planet Jupiter. Marduk, as far as I know, has no special moves, and as you can see, level 12, we hit her, we killed her in 2 attacks, so she's not that difficult. The biggest thing you have to worry about with a lot of these fights is how hard they hit, but they generally take a lot of damage, so it evens out. Damn that Apsu, she said I'd be stronger than the sailor soldiers. Did she really grant me the power to change destiny? Sailor Jupiter, you might have beaten me today, but don't you even dare think you'll win next time. She's gone. What's that name she said? Apsu? Who is that? Did she say something about changing destiny? Jupiter, wow, not a single scratch on you. You're really something else, you know that? Great chef, super strong, you're unlike any girl I've ever met. Aw, you're making me blush. But more importantly, is the stone safe? Yeah, we should hurry and let my old man know that we got it. Alright, so the chapter's almost over. We just have a couple more housekeeping things to do. Basically revolving around George and Mary. I passed by the house, didn't I? And if you'll remember, his dad is just chilling out up here. And now there's gonna be a lot of dialogue. What? You found the nephrite at the top of the protection tree? I bet that bastard had something to do with it. George, we're going to Mishi now. Huh? Why? I thought you were in good terms with Mishi. Well, when I say a lot of... From now to the end of the chapter will be a lot of dialogue. For now, we've got to trek all the way to Mishi and talk to the chief there. Doodaloo. We've already done this. I'm going the wrong way. Why they couldn't have just... And there's another hell... What is going on? There's hell... Where the hell am I going? There we go. There's the path. Helicopter's going by outside a lot today. I don't know what for. Alright. No enemies. I don't know. Maybe enemies don't spawn. Oh, we did not mean to go into that house. Sorry. We want to come up here. This outsider found the nephrite on top of the protection tree. And you're the one who put it there, you low-down slime. Good show, you old badger. It certainly took you long enough to find it. Admit it, you did all this because you were so attached to your little sister. We're not gonna get into incest here, are we? Good grief, man, don't start this again. After all, who was the one without the manhood to find the stone, Was this huge argument caused by these old guys bickering for 40 years? Montagues. Capulets and Montagues. It just came to me. Sorry, guys. Little sister. Father, does this mean that George's mother is your younger sister? And so that would make George's mother my aunt? You've never spoken of auntie before. Indeed, and we'd cut ties ever since they made their union. Yeah, this old hoser was such a stick in the mud I never could stand him. I beg your pardon. You heard me. So Mary and I are related? They went there. Regretfully, that seems to be the case. I beg you to reconsider, dearest. Yes, this green-haired boy's father wanted my beloved little sister, but the coward lacked the fortitude to acquire the nephrite. What are you talking about? You're the weirdo with a sister complex. Yeah, you tell him. You said the stone was in the ruins, and I searched through them far and wide. Just admit you lied, you bald-headed bastard. So let me get this straight. The Mishi chief didn't want his sister getting married, and so he pulled a nasty prank on the Metis chief. George, Mary, I think it's up to you to let the villagers know. I beg your pardon? What? Do that, and maybe everyone will put a stop to this stupid feud once and for all. Good word. As the village chieftains, that'd make us look bad. Are you saying I'm to make amends with this ruffian? If he says sorry first, I guess I could make peace with him. Excuse me? You heard me. You say you're sorry first. I think not. You first. No, you. No, you. No, you. No, you. No, you. No, you. So you're okay with me spilling the beans to everyone? Put her there. Jeez, are you two toddlers or something? Sometimes I feel like old people can act that way. Then again, I'm in my 30s and I feel like I can act that way too sometimes. I'm real sorry for dragging you into all this, Jupiter, but now I don't think we'll need the legend of the nephrite anymore. Here, take it so your friend can heal. Thanks, I'll do just that. And we got Nephrite's Lightstone. Thanks for everything. I'll drop by again. I'd say we're the ones who should give our thanks. I believe that things will go smoothly from here on out. Take care. I wish you guys the best. And that leaves me with a broken heart. You said you didn't have a thing for George. Oh well, at least I got the stone. Okay. Everybody's waiting for me, so I'd better get back home. And let me guess, Luna's just, gonna traipse right out of the woods. Mako's search for the stone is over. Jot it down in the diary? We will do that. And then, surprise of all surprises, Venus is the next one. So, we will take Venus to Turkey in the next episode and see if she's going to be able to get to the fourth and final Lightstone so that we can progress and hopefully heal Mamoru, make him better. So, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.